You know, Patton Oswalt, really quick. I just see his face down there. He was on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and Jerry was like, "How would you kill Superman?" And he's like, "I would have it where like the villain somehow has the reverse effects, so it's like a red sun, even though it's a yellow sun, and so his powers are constantly draining, and there's a world-ending event happening, and either he has to choose to stay and die, or leave and like live, or like get more powerful, whatever." He had this like huge thing, and Jerry Seinfeld's like, "You should write scripts." He was like, "You should write scripts. I want to read it." And he was like, "Really?" And Jerry's like, "No," because Jerry's a dick.
Hey, and welcome to Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
And we are back as a threesome this week. Our hearty fourth member is out with some mystery illness, but he'll be back.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see him. And, of course, he's got his own mini-series called Reminiscent Evil. There'll be a new episode of that coming in the next couple weeks, so keep an eye out for that, too.
Such a sexy title.
Yeah, right? that was a good one, yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, props to that. So we've all seen some films. I know last episode Chris was talking about having seen The Good Dinosaur, and we were talking about having seen Creed, and we kind of like flipped because Jake and I saw The Good Dinosaur, and Chris saw Creed. Chris, you wanna go first?
Yeah. Well, so I was working at my theater, and I got cut off, or not cut off. I got cut from work.
Go home.
Yeah, I got cut from work a little bit earlier than I was expecting, and I was like, well, I got like an hour, or I got a couple hours before I have to do anything, because I think I was working at the bar that later that night as well. So I looked at the schedule and saw that Creed was starting in about 20 minutes. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go check out Creed, and so I did, naturally. And oh my God, it was so good. Like, now because of us, I have seen all the Rocky movies, and anyone that paid attention during the commentaries, I had seen a lot of the. I had seen most of them
all
leading
but
up.
6, right?
Leading up to Rocky Balboa. I watched all of them, and then kind of was like, okay, cool, and didn't watch Balboa until the commentaries. But I gotta say, as someone who is not like a hardcore Rocky fan, this might be my favorite of the series.
I think the only thing that's keeping me and possibly Jake from naming it like outright the best of the series is like a decade plus of nostalgia for 1 and 3.
Which you guys do have up on me.
Yeah.
Nostalgia definitely helps for that. And
because the first Rocky is your favorite film.
Yeah, of all time. So I mean that's tough, but I mean I mean Creed is something like, I was all over about it last episode, but yeah, it's just something truly special, man. Like, I was gonna say, like Ryan Coogler is like the future, because like, well, there's
only
the
a
future
second
of
feature
this franchise.
It's only a second movie,
second feature, man.
And he, he's getting eyed at for Black Panther, which would be really cool.
Oh yeah, sign me up.
But yeah, I mean that's a guy like he's created lifelong fans, from Fruitvale Station and from Creed.
Yeah.
I gotta say they really knocked it out of the park emotionally too. That there were a couple moments where like I was getting a little teary eyed in there, like especially when Rocky's finally like admitting to Adonis about his cancer, and like about how like he watched his wife die, even though they did like the chemo, they did all that, and he was like, I'm not fighting it, Yeah,
like,
and
there's nobody left for me.
Yeah, and then like a lot of some of the other stuff later on with Rocky and Adonis talking, especially when he's like hyping him up for the fight at the end, he's like, it's not about you, or it's not about me, it's not about your father, it's not about all this stuff. I was just like,
Yep. All your pain, all that anger inside, let it all go. But and that the inevitable climb up the Rocky steps. That's like the most emotional like climb of those steps that's ever. Yeah. And I really hope that Coogler comes back to direct, because they were talking about making a full-on trilogy out of Creed.
Yeah.
And I would love him to write and direct all 3 of those.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
And apparently it was Rocky 1 and 2 that made him want to become a filmmaker, and so it's like such like fucking kismet, that he gets to his second feature film is a fucking Rocky, for lack of a better term, a Rocky movie.
Yeah, because I did mention, or I did say favorite in the series, but I think it's proper to say something more like in the universe, because it's really not like it harkens back to the Rocky series, but it's its own thing. It's
like Star Trek Generations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's set in the same continuity, and some of the characters will show up.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's its own thing.
How about those fights?
Those fights, man. Whew. Like at least like later on in the series, if I remember correctly, the Rocky ones, like they got more and more real with the fighting, right? Those
certainly more entertaining.
Well, they didn't get more real. They got like
they got more over the top.
Well,
but Rocky Balboa's was pretty real.
Rocky Balboa's is still.
I mean, like
the
they were
most
actually
realistic.
hitting, like landing punches and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Or am I
Whereas the
misremembering?
first film, like you can see him clearly.
Oh yeah, well
hitting.
yeah, they got better at choreographing the fights.
Okay,
for sure. Yeah.
But like these ones, man, like that. I mean, maybe it was because I was seeing it in a theater and they got the nice sound system and all that. But like I felt those punches in my chest, and
the camera's right there in the action.
Yeah, and that one shot fight that you were talking about, Jake, magical.
Yeah, the two round.
And like they did such a good job filming it and then doing like the musical score and whatnot, like just right from the first shot where it's like just like a mid-range shot on Adonis where there's just like I want to say there was this audio cue where it was just like and it felt like it was so well timed with the camera movement. It felt like the camera was just locking into place, and I was like, oh, this is the shot that Jake was talking about. And it was like a solid shot for like around 10 minutes, with no cutaway. Yeah. And I was just I was amazed.
We were talking about how like they kind of teased it earlier too, like the fight in Mexico.
Yeah, the first fight, like it's a one long tracking shot to get to the ring.
Yeah.
And like while they were doing it, I was like, Are they gonna do this right away? Yeah. Really? Are they doing it? And then like right when the fight starts, it cuts.
They cut to
somebody,
like a crowd member,
and I was like, oh,
yeah, you ain't ready for this.
Yeah, get ready.
Yeah. Well, and then Jake and I saw The Good Dinosaur.
Did it live up to my hype? Again, I haven't seen Inside Out, so maybe I didn't have the same.
I think it's like on par with like Brave and like Monsters University, and I enjoy both those films, but they're not like top tier Pixar.
Right.
They're not like Toy Story or The Incredibles is my favorite. I really like Ratatouille. I feel like that gets left out of the debate a lot. Jake didn't.
I think The Water looked really good, like you said.
Yeah.
But I thought that movie was a fucking disaster. Like I think seriously, like if I'm putting together a list of worst movies of the year, this is not the top, but it's up there, man.
It's not like Vacation or Fantastic Four.
No.
Or Bridge of Spies.
But the psycho thing is, I'd rather watch Fantastic Four than The Good Dinosaur.
Damn.
I hated The Good Dinosaur. Like I was joking afterwards, like the okay dinosaur. No. The bad, terrible dinosaur. I did not like this movie.
The first thing he says as we're walking out of the theater, because me and him saw it together, he turns and goes, "Well, I did not like that movie one bit."
Well, my thing was like,
would you rather watch it or Spectre?
Oh shit, Spectre. Because I didn't hate Spectre, But the Good Dinosaur, it's like this hyper.
You weren't angry at Spectre. You were just disappointed.
Yes, I was a disappointed parent.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I was like, you're better than this. Look at your brother Casino Royale. Look at your brother Skyfall. They went to college.
Even Quantum of Solace got his GED.
Yeah, Quantum of Solace got a GED.
You're just smoking dope in the back room, wasting your life.
Yeah. But no, I mean, for funny effect, I'm like ripping it like a million pieces. I mean, it was
still liked it.
It was a movie. The Good Dinosaur was a movie that, by all senses and definition, it was a movie that was made and we saw it and blah.
Right. Thanks, John.
But so, I mean, like it fit the criteria of being an actual movie.
Right.
But
sure.
So that's a pro. But
it's
like this
visuals.
It's like this hyper realistic backgrounds, which are great. And then I understand that Pixar has like the CG kind of look, but the dinosaurs were like these Play-Doh green dinosaurs. And it looks so stupid.
It's like
and
a Nick Park
also like
claymation short.
It's like how you do a point A, like Mad Max Fury Road, great example of that. The whole point of that movie is going from point A to point B and back again. The Good Dinosaur is a great example of how you do that terribly because it just is a mess. And the only cool part is Sam Elliott is the dinosaur or the T-Rex with the
Kinda looks
alligator
like Jack Palance.
tooth stuck in his gums. He's like, with like the you ain't ready for this story, kid. And then Anna Paquin basically plays Sookie, the daughter. The same accent, and everything.
I think you're just stuck on.
I'm stuck on that for a while. That's going to take a bit.
You're seeing actresses from it everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, she is legitimately in the movie.
Is she?
She is.
Is she?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't know. I didn't look at the.
It just I don't know the movie. Like I saw Inside Out, and I loved Inside Out. It was a great movie. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, how is this a Pixar movie?
Well, it was delayed for years,
Yeah.
and they
because they didn't want to tackle evolution.
well, they also fired the director.
I will say,
That'll do it.
The opening short film before it
This is the best part.
was a joy. That was fantastic.
Yeah, Sanjay's adventure.
Yeah, that was great.
adorable. I loved it.
I wanted a full movie of that.
It's like the inverse of Inside Out, where like I wasn't a big fan of the.
Lava.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That fucking sucked.
Yeah, and
They're
then
like, you can download the song on iTunes. I'm like, why the okay? Now I know what to like remove from my search history forever.
why the fuck? I like how you just like cut yourself off because you were just so infuriated. So yeah, take Sam's anger for that opening film, which I didn't like. I didn't like very much either. And that's how I felt about Good Dinosaur, but I did like the opening for the Sanjay's Super Friends or Super Team.
I will say that like
great.
it's a very episodic film, The Good Dinosaur, and there's some of those set pieces that work.
Yeah.
Some set pieces are just fucking bizarre, like when they are tripping balls.
Yeah, they're tripping balls. Like they're like.
I loved that scene.
I think it works, but it's like bizarre.
Yeah.
It's like whoa.
I do. I mean, like with
I feel like it wasn't set up very well. Like,
and it doesn't really pay off.
It would have been cute, like if there had been like something like early on in the movie, a Chekhov's gun, where like the father is like, oh, be careful of the berries that you eat, or whatever.
They're gonna fuck you up. But like the.
But it was like the Sasquatch thing, a sequence in Tenacious D.
Oh my god, it's so funny. I just listened to that song like when on the way over here from the soundtrack. But I'm just thinking that song now. But you already are.
Yeah, but like obviously, I agree with you. The T-Rex set piece is the best set piece.
Yeah.
I mean, like again, look, like with any Pixar movie, it has really sweet, tender moments in it.
Sure.
But for me, it's just
like when they're sharing how both of their parents are gone.
That's
great.
Maybe I'm just in a super sentimental mood and like I'm just really digging all of this family stuff.
It hits you where you live, man.
Yeah.
It hits you where you live.
And then Creed had like the same shit in it, and I was just like, Grr! And then
the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and the night before too, like
I still gotta check that out.
All I've been watching is like.
Do you want to borrow Inside Out?
Maybe I do.
Okay.
and then watch the Iron Giant and just be wrecked.
So we're selling or Mondo is selling ugly like movie themed ugly Christmas sweaters, and we have a display in our theater, and we have like a deal to like order it through us, but you're still ordering it from Mondo. So for whatever reason, it's like all horror movie themed. We have Halloween, we have Friday the 13th, we have Nightmare on Elm Street, Gremlins, and then the Iron Giant.
Yeah. I think when you told me that at work, I just levitated and floated around in the bar. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I want an Iron Giant.
Yeah. And it's cool because it's like, Iron Giant is, made of iron, a metal, and it's like kind of got sparkly fabric in it,
That's cool.
Yeah. And like and for whatever reason, I've decided to inform everyone, like whenever any of the coworkers are like, "Oh man, Iron Giant," because everyone sees that and they're like, "I love Iron Giant." I've decided to make it like my goal in life to shatter their dreams and be like, "I've never seen it," and they're just like, "What?"
You're only hurting yourself.
Yeah, they're the ones that are crying because I haven't seen it.
Well, once you see it, you will.
Yeah,
if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't hate The Good Dinosaur. It just kind of felt a little off. It needed a little polish. It needed to flow a little better. There you go. But also, like his dad is basically Henry, played by Jeffrey Wright, is basically Mufasa light. But the
I mean, I feel like that's kind of like the basic storyline that they're trying to capitalize on.
Yeah.
Personified animals. It's the Lion King.
Yeah. I want to I'm still totally vibing on Pixar though after Inside Out, and of course next year we've got Finding Dory, which should be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Stanton always works pretty well, and I do feel like John Carter was, while while I agree that it's not like a fantastic film, I think it's severely underrated.
Still haven't seen that either.
Yeah.
Really,
If you want to borrow that too, but the
Just keep throwing movies at me.
yeah, but
Got the day off tomorrow.
yeah, but you guys saw another thing in theaters that was
I remember after seeing the Good Dinosaur, because I saw this right before the Good Dinosaur, or right after the Good Dinosaur. We saw Santo and the Blue Demon versus the Monsters.
Mm-hmm. Santo Blue Demon Contra Monstra. Or whatever.
And well, there's one point like before the movie started, they're showing all these great like B movie, C movie, F plus movie
movies
trailers, and they're all in like Spanish
wrestling footage.
Yeah, and wrestling footage. And at one point, Chris turns to me. We both had this realization. We're like, "Is this movie going to be in Spanish with no subtitles?" Because like they weren't doing any subtitles, and I was like,
"There was no subtitles on the pre."
I was like, I don't think it'll be hard to figure out. When Frankenstein comes out and he punches him in the face, like what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the movie we knew it was going to suck. I mean, the movie sucked, but It was fun.
I mean, it was a crappy B monster.
Yeah.
Santo or the Good Dinosaur.
Oh, Santo. Because the Good Dinosaur didn't have luchadors running around. Dude, there's a scene. There's a scene where Santo, who's like the Mexican luchador of all Mexican luchadors ever, and just this personality, like a living superhero in Mexico, in the 70s and 80s, I guess. But he was like starring in all these films and just kicking ass, and his best buddy was the Blue Demon. It kind of bummed me out that most of this movie, Blue Demon's like a evil clone,
barely in it. Too.
Yeah, he's like an evil clone, and he's like that sweet turtleneck, you know. And eventually they team up at the end. They're like Blue Demon, Santo, yeah, and they kick ass. But there's a great scene where Santo, on the roof, he goes against the Mummy, punches the Mummy in the face. Frankenstein punches Frankenstein in the face. The Cyclops, which he punches in the face but doesn't knock down because it's the Cyclops, I guess. All the other people knocks down.
He's not weighted down with that second eye.
Yeah. Dracula or the vampire, whatever you want to call it. They don't really specifically say. I guess
vampire.
Just the vampire punches in the face. The Wolfman punches in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And just like in circles going around, they get up and he punches them down, get up, punches them down. And then I think this is when he fell asleep because you did.
Yeah.
And I can't blame you, honestly, dude. There was a moment I was like, should I just chalk this up to a $1 nap? I don't know. But
it was a pretty nice $1 nap.
I mean, it's the first time I've ever actually been to the Alamo Draft House. I thought I had been there before. But he throws the mummy off of the fucking roof.
Yeah.
And then he jumps off the roof.
The last thing I remember is him jumping off the roof, and then it gets a little hazy until I wake up and the Santo and Blue Demon are staking vampires.
Oh, that's so
and
great.
The credits roll.
That's so
and I was
great.
like, well, I guess I missed the third act.
Yeah. I will say, I got nothing against people enjoying a good time in a movie, but some of the people in the theater were like laughing like it was the funniest fucking thing they've ever seen in their entire life.
The dude next to you, I feel like was the worst offender.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, there's so many. I mean, it's assigned seating, but like I was like, oh, bro, there's so many seats.
Next to me? Probably the worst part was that like one, he was the one that was laughing the most.
Yeah.
But two, like his like default laugh or his like little laugh was like that. That's it. Just
and here's the thing, like. The movie there's a charm to it, but there's some there are shots.
We're all there because we expect it to be
no one's
bad
there.
Movie, a laughably bad movie.
Yeah, Grindhouse films are pretty entertaining as a whole.
There's a great scene where they introduce all the monsters for the first time, and they have these shots like they come over a hill, and then.
You mean just once? Because they did it like 2 or 3 times.
Later on, they introduce the monsters again, and it's the exact same shot.
Yeah.
And then there's like a random dance number where they go to a restaurant to watch people dance, and you sit and you watch them dance. You watch this entertainment.
3 songs.
3 songs. You just they sit and they're clapping while they're eating. And
Santo's just eating and clapping.
Yeah, they're all sitting there. Him and his like I guess girlfriend, or the other professor who's not the good professor's daughter, who's his girlfriend, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's like they stops the car and he's like, let's make out, and then they just drive again. But it's always great, however, he gets on the car because he does the thing where he jumps over the front seat, like right into it, and revs it up and goes. But yeah, at the end, they go in and they stake all the vampires because Dracula turns 2 like hot chicks into vampires.
Which, by the way, the poster for this movie
so great.
Says it like goes through all the monsters and it's like and the vampire woman. There were 2.
There were 2, and they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They were just
But
there.
it was vampire women.
It was, yeah. And even in the trailer, I think they show a trailer for it beforehand. They're like, at the beginning, they're introducing, and they're showing all of them. But yeah, I mean, it was like an hour and a half, maybe hour and 20. But it was fun, to see them all. the old Santo and
I will
Blue
say,
Demon.
Alamo Drafthouse has some of the best freshly baked cookies I've ever had.
Yeah, I didn't partake in any of the food this time.
You should have. Next time, I'm going to just throw them at you.
That's fine.
Next week.
That's all, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just take a moment to just realize
that in a week's time, about a week and a half.
Star Wars.
One more episode.
And
then we will no longer be living in a pre-episode 7 world.
Yeah. Keep on rocking in the free world. Ba-na-na. You know who kind of sucks?
Who?
Or is kind of up his own ass?
Who?
Neil Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Southern man don't need him around anyhow.
Yeah. I guess we are. But
By classical terms.
If you ever watch The Last Waltz, which is a concert film about the last concert of the band, Neil Young does a song in the middle of The Last Waltz, and Martin Scorsese, who directed it, had to rotoscope his performance because in the raw footage there's a big glob of cocaine hanging off the tip of his nose.
Nice.
Oh man, and that's old school.
Give a whole new phrase to keep on
yeah,
rocking.
It's like 78. Yeah.
I've done rotoscoping in Final Cut and Adobe Premiere, and that's already not that easy. I can't imagine. I mean, it's got to be like 10 times harder on film
for an entire performance.
Yeah.
And the entire time Neil Young's there, he looks like he doesn't know where he is. Monsanto years, young Monsanto years.
He does have a song. I think it's called Transporter Man. That is like this really awesome vocoder song. That's like the only thing I can say about Neil Young that I like. There's just like I don't know.
I like his work with Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah. me.
Not even, and of course, Keep on Rocking in the Free World.
I guess
that's like his best, not preachy song.
Yeah. And it's still preachy.
Is it?
He's telling you
to keep on rocking.
Keep on rocking in the free world. What if I don't want to rock in the free world? What if I want to blues it up? What if I want to just rap it up? What if I want to just listen to some metal?
Rap it up.
No, I'm gonna strain it with my voice with a glob of cocaine hang off my noise.
Your noise. Avoid the noise.
Yeah.
Come on, feel the noise. Yeah, I know that's not Neil Young. So
it's also not the way that the tune goes.
Oh yeah, you're right. But
that's what my thought was.
Something we did see in addition to these films is we've got 2 pretty banging trailers. Well, maybe one banging trailer and
1.5 banging trailers.
Yeah. I'm of course talking about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Still the dumbest subtitle ever. And Captain America: Civil War. A decent subtitle, but
harkens back to a popular comic book series.
Yeah,
well purchased.
Yeah, commercially the best selling Marvel crossover event.
Is it? I mean, I honestly don't know. I can't remember. Is it just Captain America: Civil War, or is it Captain America 3: Civil War?
Captain America: Civil War.
Just Captain. Okay, that makes sense.
Just like Winter Soldier wasn't Captain America 2. The Winter Soldier is just Captain.
I guess
America.
if I thought about it longer, I would have realized that.
Yeah. We're on the fly.
Yeah,
but
I think Iron Man 2
busy
is
rocking
the
in the free world,
and 3
and 3 are the only ones to be numerically numbered.
Yeah, because I think they hadn't established the subtitle rule at that point, so they're just like Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. I think if we ever get an Iron Man 4, it'll be Iron Man The Quest for Peace.
Yeah,
just no number.
I hope it's The Quest for Peace.
Yeah, it'll probably be better than Superman 4. Superman 4 is not the worst Superman movie, but it's not great.
Third best Superman movie.
Yeah.
Or at least third best in that series.
With Christopher Reeve. Yeah.
I'm not sure where I would put Man of Steel and Superman Returns in order of those 4.
And The Mole Men.
Yeah.
Got a wide.
I do have it on Laserdisc.
Well, keep an eye out, guys. Keep an eye out. But so as you can probably surmise, we like the Cap trailer better. I don't know. Chris was making an observation earlier that it was closer to.
Yeah. So we were just rewatching the 2 trailers because naturally we've all seen the trailers in our own time, but Jake had talked about a couple things in the Batman v Superman trailer, so we decided to rewatch them because we had Sam and I had missed them. And while we were watching the Civil War trailer, I was like, as it stands from the bits that we've seen from here, I'd say that Civil War is more based on the Dark Knight Returns, which is kind of like the starting block for what Batman v Superman is kind of supposed to be.
Well, yeah, I mean,
in theory at least.
Definitely
them
like
fighting against each other.
Yeah, and you can definitely a lot of visual cues. The idea of an older Batman, the idea of like the armored bat suit and everything, all kind of comes from Dark Knight Returns. But yeah, in terms of government stepping in to basically bring the superheroes in line, yeah, it has more to do with Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, and someone pointed out something funny online. It's not really a gripe or anything like that, but it's a funny little like, when Batman's wearing the robot suit, his voice is a little more robotic, and literally his mouth is the only thing not covered in robot.
Yeah.
Unlike Iron Man.
He's kind of got almost like a human after all kind of like voice.
Yeah, or like actually kind of similar to like the Iron Man like voice modulation.
Yeah,
he has it in just normal Batman outfit too.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe he just has a microphone in the cowl.
Yeah.
Which it
makes sense.
That was the way that I wrote it off. I was like, I don't care. It's a fucking comic book movie. He probably has a microphone.
I mean, it could be like those things like the Special Forces guy was wear on like their throats, to
or
be
like
a microphone.
or like smokers that have the
voice box.
Yeah.
It definitely is better than Christian Bale's kind of like excessive voice.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Yeah. Do you think Batman's favorite Daft Punk album is Human After All?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it the first one?
Discovery?
I'm thinking about this way too long. I feel like he'd have a good like when Batman is going to kick ass. He's listening to Homework, their first album. You know, like Teachers. He's listening to freaking Defunct. Yeah. He's like, yeah. When he's coming home and just like he's beaten down and he's like remembering the pain and suffering of his life.
Too long.
That's when he listens to
Too long.
Making Love or
Face to Face.
Yeah. No, but I feel like
That's what happens when he plays Two-Face.
Human After All is his come down album.
Yeah.
Isn't it everyone's?
Yeah. That's an underrated album in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what? You're an underrated album
Thanks,
in my opinion.
Brah.
But what are your big gripes with what takes you out of the Batman v Superman trailer?
Lex Luthor.
Yes.
He's
not my biggest problem, but I'll let you guys
yeah,
continue.
well that's my first.
'Kay.
Leading
for me
up
it's the biggest.
the 10 seconds that lead up to it, fine. There's nothing that hurts me.
A little gripe for me, Clark Kent doesn't know who Bruce Wayne is.
Yeah.
Like, how does Clark Kent not know who Bruce Wayne is?
Yeah. He must be new.
Yeah. But, like, he's been on this planet for 30 years.
33.
Yeah.
They make it a point to be like, same age as Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But,
when crucified.
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Jim Carrey's, like, before he turns into the Riddler in Batman Forever.
Yes.
But worse.
Actually, it you know what? Now that you mention that, like that's what was going through my mind. Like I didn't quite have my finger on it, but yeah, it's like that scene when he's unveiling the
TV thing,
yeah,
Enigma Vision or whatever,
and he's like copying Bruce Wayne, like putting on the glasses. He's got the mole and like the slick back hair. And
how's my mole?
Yeah, like that's almost identical, and like.
The only thing I can hope is that it's the presentation, the facade that Luthor has, that like he puts on the long hair, he goes out and he plays the eccentric billionaire more so than Bruce Wayne, because the Bruce we see in this is like fucking all right, I'm over this shit. I'm driving a fucking tiny old car
because he's like middle aged. He's been through it. He's lost a Robin apparently.
Yeah, and I remember showing my dad, like, there was that Empire cover where it's Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent, like, in their, outfits. And my dad likes, he likes, dressing, not like dressing up, but he likes, suits and stuff like that. And I was like, what do you think of this? And he was looking at Bruce Wayne. He's like, what is this? Get this out of here. I was like, what about Clark Kent? He's like, it's not bad. My biggest, I love, my like, stupid nerd thing is, like, I was so much more excited to see a fully realized, like, Clark Kent than I was seeing Superman in the trailer.
Like I mean that's one of the things that Man of Steel was kind of lacking.
Yeah,
it really was just Superman.
And you get the Clark Kent Daily Planet, little thing. He's got the glasses, and it just I don't know. Like I've always liked the Clark Kent stuff so much more than
I am still a fan of Henry Cavill as Clark Kent Superman.
Oh yeah.
He rocks it well. and definitely like I'm cool with Batfleck. You know, I've been, you know, kind of in his corner the entire time.
Yeah.
But like now I'm like, oh, good. All this like, you know, all this like negativity I've been fielding from the people that instantly said no. Like, you know, kind of feels like it's washing off of me now, because everyone like that seems to be one of the things that like most people can agree on. It's like, oh, we were wrong about Batfleck. It looks like he's going to be all right.
Yeah, but Doomsday isn't. Also, how much does this trailer give away? We basically know what happens.
Now, as much as I am like annoyed at how much this trailer shows, I will say, fingers crossed, knock on wood. Maybe it's not giving, or hopefully it's not giving as much away as it seems to be.
Yeah.
Like if Doomsday is the big bad, I'm going to be very annoyed. Like that, because yes, that is a shit trailer to be like, hey, by the way, here's Doomsday.
Yeah,
you know,
just in case you wonder, and there's not going to be really a definitive victor between a movie called Batman v Superman, because at the end of the day they team up to I think we always kind of figured that they would unite against a common threat, because we know that they're going to like they've already announced Justice League. They've already announced.
Well,
all
it's also
shit.
in the terrible subtitle where it's Dawn of Justice.
Dawn of Justice. Yeah.
It's like they will shake hands and bro out in this film. You know?
Yeah, and now we're like, oh, now we know what the catalyst of that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Doomsday.
He looks like shit. That's my biggest problem with the trailer.
How does like CGI like, because fucking like the Abomination, who he kind of looks like, and we can go over who he looks like, but in the Incredible Hulk,
4 or 5 different monsters.
Like 7 years ago, the big bad of the Incredible Hulk movie with Ed Norton was the Abomination.
Timothy Roth.
How does he look worse?
Right?
In that 7 years, bigger budget since.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Fucking mix the Abomination with like the fucking shitty turtles from the Michael Bay Turtles.
Yeah.
And throw in a Goomba from the Super Mario Brothers movie.
The movie.
Yeah. And just like...
And the cave troll from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and then put it in a bag and shake it. Just shake it like
it
you're
off.
not supposed to do with a baby.
Off.
Yeah.
And like that's what you get.
And then you just power slide it into frame.
Yeah.
And he lights up his face and mouth, and you look like, fuck you.
Now, someone did throw out, you know, kind of throw in, maybe it's just some shitty prototype Bizarro. And I was like, that's still stupid. But I would be fine with all of with everyone being wrong about it being Doomsday.
I mean, regardless, it looks like shit.
Yes, I think we can all agree, prototype or not, Bizarro or Doomsday,
but
or some new villain.
Another Kryptonian. A saving grace.
Yeah, maybe it's just Abomination Zod.
For me is the devil will do it. Like that's the worst line in the trailer for me. Is the saving
really not what was it, the what Lex says, what Lex calls both Batman and Superman.
Oh, the Last Son of Krypton and Bat of Gotham.
Yeah,
I mean that's stupid, but the devil will do it. Like it just is stupid. But the saving grace is Wonder Woman at the end for me.
She's cool. I feel like because we've seen other stuff with like Gal Gadot, I guess in her Diana Prince alter ego before. So I think it isn't until the very end of the movie where she's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm Wonder Woman," and they're like, "Oh."
Here's the cool thing: I'm giving
greatest detective.
I'm giving props to Mark Bernard from Fat Man on Batman on this because I listened to them talk about the trailer, and I didn't pick it up the first time either. But in the trailer, there's the rumor that the nightmare sequence that everyone's speculated about, you know, this is what it's like if Superman goes unchecked.
Yeah.
That what Mark Bernard kind of thought was like could be a possibility, which I think is way cooler than just a nightmare sequence, is that this is a vision that that Wonder Woman has, that if she doesn't if these two macho dick faces don't get checked, what's going to happen is this alternate universe is going to happen. And then also you get what looks like parademons in the background.
Which for you listeners at home, if you're not familiar, parademons are the henchmen of Darkseid.
Yeah. So might be her catalyst to get over there.
What if it isn't Doomsday? What if it's Darkseid?
Yeah, that's
the thing.
That's what I'm hoping. That with especially with the like looking at the parademons, being like, oh shit, but like they are parademons. Like I was like, oh, maybe like maybe like fucking Batman and Superman are having their dick measuring contest, and that's like Act 2, and like Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, coming through and being like, stop it, and like cutting both their dicks off at the pass.
A moil,
right? It's
a little too intense.
So, If DC were ever willing to make a real movie,
Yeah.
that's what it would be. No,
The Lorena Bobbitt story?
Yeah. Hey, local hero. Legend? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Neither.
But but like like she comes in and just like, hey, shut the fuck up to both of them. We're all heroes here. Whatever the stupid dialogue is going to be, because it's going to be stupid.
Well,
because those scenes always are. But like, and then Darkseid's just like, I'm going to come and claim this planet and make everyone slaves. Like, is his only storyline.
I feel it's pretty clear that the big bad of the first Justice League film, and I guess part 2, because it's getting split in 2 parts like Avengers Infinity War, is probably going to be Darkseid. I do feel like, it's pretty well shown or demonstrated that Luthor does something with Zod's body, either clones it into a Bizarro or resurrects it as Doomsday, and
he uses like an abomination of the DNA to make.
DNA. I mean, the dark if it's Doomsday, having Doomsday basically have heat vision, is kind of a dead giveaway that there's Kryptonian
in it
DNA in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the interesting thing is, and what I think could be Zack Snyder and DC's greatest little fucking behind the fucking curtain Wizard of Oz moment could be everyone going, oh, we know the 3-act structure, and he's like, fuck you, the first 2 acts, like the third act, for all we know, like that. One of the reasons they make this trailer like this, because you have to be dumb if this is your whole movie to make this trailer. Like, if this is seriously the whole movie, it's dumb.
What if this is
it's
just
stupid.
The first act?
Oh, so I'm saying, well,
please prove.
But here's
prove strong.
Oh, no, because I want this to be the biggest fucking movie of all time. I want this to be the best superhero movie ever made. But like, the thing that could be really fucking cool is that, the fucking Wonder Woman shows up, the fucking Aquaman. They could pop in all this other shit that they have going on.
They've already cast Flash. They've already cast Cyborg.
Yeah, they could have a lot of stuff going on.
Was there ever a definitive Green Lantern resolved, or is that still up in the air?
Not yet. Everyone thought it was going to be Chris Pine, but it turns out he's just going to be Steve Trevor in the Wonder Woman film currently filming.
The rumor is that they've the Green Lantern
core
movie that they're writing in Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. That's just bullshit.
I mean, those
rumors,
are the big 2.
Yeah. Give me my Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle Rayner is my favorite.
No guy love.
No.
Just my friend Robbie. All right.
Yeah.
Let him grow his beard and draw the Red Lanterns.
Yeah. Get that
With his
handlebar mustache.
His super color.
Yeah.
There's cool Guy Gardner moments. But for like decades, he was kind of a putz.
I agree.
Yeah.
Him and his stupid mushroom bowl cut. From the 90s.
The
first, where he fought Doomsday.
Yeah, and on the cover of Justice League International #1 is like, want to make something of it? I'm like, fuck you.
No purchase.
Yeah.
That's what I'm making of it, Guy.
Yeah, thanks. Try to be extreme like everybody else. Remember when Sonic was like, I'm sassy, I'm going to wave my finger at you all the time, and it's like, you've got a pot belly. And you're a hedgehog.
Yeah.
Everyone had attitude in the early 90s, and only a couple people could pull it off.
Yeah, like Steve Austin.
Yeah, well, Attitude Era.
Yeah.
But what was another? Everything was extreme.
Lobo.
Image
Comics in general.
Yeah, well, yeah, you had Youngblood and you had Savage Dragon and
Spawn.
Spawn. Have you been keeping up with that?
Mm-mm. No.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, the last I checked, he's in hell fighting. I mean,
it was a mainly silent issue.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys listen to our little Todd McFarlane story, it's following what exactly he told us was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever said it because Oh,
at the time, yeah.
I think you said it off mic, and I was like,
no, I feel like once that issue came out, I said it because we didn't want to say anything until the story started.
Actually, hit the stands.
Yeah. Because we didn't want to do any of that stuff, but
because we're respectful.
Yeah.
Todd.
But
Mr.
I mean,
McFarlane.
I
haven't met him in person.
Right.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, we're all going to be there for Batman v Superman, and obviously, Civil War.
Yeah.
It's just that Civil War. It's weird, man. So the Captain, the fucking Batman trailer, Batman v Superman trailer was weird. It was a weird kind of little misstep. But the thing is, if you're going by Zack Snyder rules, the better the trailer, the worse the movie. So I don't know, man.
It's true. Well,
it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work.
Yeah, it's not exact science.
No,
though I got to
not.
say, the trailer.
I remember Dawn of the Dead had a good trailer.
It did. That's what I was about to say. Man, that trailer was scary as shit.
Yeah. When I was doing Rocky Horror, we had that trailer on in front of the movie. We had that and Shaun of the Dead for a long time, and we would like had like callbacks just for the trailers as well as the movie. And yeah, it was a damn good trailer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Watchmen trailer was great too, and I think that's a good movie. But a big example of that is like, remember how fucking great the last trailer for Man of Steel was? Like, remember when it came out? We were watching it on my shitty little phone on the bar with no sound.
Yeah, at that point,
it was like
even a smartphone.
It was like buffering, and we were like, "Holy shit!" It wasn't that he punched anybody. Like, I remember everyone was like, the cool thing that I remember everyone was like freaking out about was at the end where he like punches someone in the face. I was like, "Get off Superman punching! Fuck off about that! Like, it's not that cool. I mean, it's cool.
We know he can punch.
Yes, I'm all for Superman feats of strength. That's fine.
If he can fly, he can probably punch.
But like the coolest shit was like just showing him flying and like the kind of don't know like the fucking
the like in the atmosphere.
But the music was fantastic. But the one shot that really got was one shot I remember that got me where, and it's not as great as a payoff in the movie. It is cool because it has the same resolution for it, but in the trailer you don't know why. You're just like, oh shit, is when you see the shadows of him lying in the shadow, like fucked up. He's like sweating. You're like, Superman doesn't sweat. And like he reaches his hand out and it breaks the shadow, and you see it hit the sunlight, and he just like opens his hand, and you see the sun hit his hand. And you're like, he's charging up. But yeah. I mean, I don't know that fucking. I thought that was cool. But I remember I had seen the scene. He was on like a late night show.
Yeah.
And they showed the scene before the movie even came out, which I still think is fucking awesome, where Zod is like, "Where is the Tesseract?" or whatever whatever the fuck he says.
Tesseract.
Yeah, the Tesseract. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Where's the Tesseract?
Captain America.
And he goes,
Superman.
Yeah,
Get me the Tesseract.
He goes, "Where is it?" And you hear, and like the sounds, fucking speed of sound, and Superman just grabs him and throws him through the cornfield.
And throws him into an IHOP.
Yeah, throws him into the silo after that. He's like, "You think you could threaten my mother?" And I remember they just showed that scene, and they show him throwing him through a silo and like the destruction, and I was like, this is gonna be the fucking coolest movie ever made. And then I saw it, and I was super disappointed.
Well, you had like, and you've relayed this story before. I don't think you've related on the show, but you like went out the day when Man of Steel. We all saw Man of Steel.
Oh, yeah, this is sad, man. This is a sad story.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'll give it a happy ending.
Sure.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I love Superman. But yeah, I was working. I was doing like landscaping stuff at my uncle's place, and I was like psyched all day. Like I was like lifting more mulch than normal. I was like, yeah, we'll see. Man of Steel's finally coming out. Man of Steel's fucking finally coming. Because Man of Steel, like, as much like fun shit I give it, like that's a movie that really, when the first trailer came out before Dark Knight Rises, that it was the Jonathan Kent voiceover trailer, the one, not the Jor-El one. That seriously like reawoken the love of Superman from like in me that I had as a child in elementary school and middle school, like I kind of lost in later high school and college. And I remember like after I saw the trailer, blah blah blah, I ran out and bought the Superman stuff and really started getting back into it. And after I got off working at my uncle's place, I was like, man, this is how fucking lame I am. I was like, I don't have a cool Superman shirt. Like I'm gonna be that guy who wears a Superman shirt, but not I didn't have the Superman S emblem. Like I had one that was like really small and shitty. And so I went to like Target or whatever, and they have like really great $7-8 Superman Batman shirts. And I bought the Superman shirt, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be so cool. I'm seeing Man of Steel. And as I'm walking to my car, out loud, I go, what if it sucks? Like, what if I leave the theater and it's terrible? And this like whooshing, like almost Superman hitting Zod, I don't think you could threaten my mother, comes into my mind, and it's like, it's not gonna suck. It can't suck because I saw the trailer and it was awesome. And I remember I drove. It was kind of a butt fuck trying to get to the theater because like we went to like one side of the world to get the other side, and we had to go to fucking Tyson's Corner, and which like Tyson's is fine, but I have no intention of ever going to Tyson's Corner again for a movie. Sorry,
it's
Tyson's
kind
Corner.
It's kind of
out of the way. It's fucking out of the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're all together.
You're closer, but
yeah, we're all together having a good time. Blah blah blah, and we get in there, get good seats. Movie's about to start, and I remember. I'm not going to go through the whole fucking movie, obviously, but as the movie starts, and Jor-El is putting, Baby Cal on the ship, and I was like, there was this like wave that came over me that I was like, this is it. Like we're finally getting our Superman origin story. It's gonna this is happening like in front of me.
Yeah, because we've never seen the Superman origin story.
Well, no, I mean Superman Returns wasn't a Superman origin story for us. Like this sounds stupid now, but this could be our Superman 78. Like we get the origin story of Man of Steel, and it's gonna fill in the Jesus years. It's gonna fill in the years we don't see that are never explained.
The Jesus in the wilderness, to be more accurate.
Yeah. We're gonna see that shit. One, we definitely didn't see that shit. It skips over all of it.
Typical.
Yeah,
The strongest parts are when he flashes back to Smallville, minus the death of Jonathan Kent.
Well, kind of, but even that stuff though, like
Minus Jonathan Kent telling him to let a school bus of children.
yeah. Well, I mean that
was always my biggest
his
hang-up.
his death was a weirder issue for me than him telling him maybe you should have, because that's just the father who is struggling trying to figure out the right thing to say. Now, yes, is the right thing to say let kids die? No, but that's a moment of. I don't know. Like maybe I don't know, man. Like I don't. You're a fucking alien kid. I don't. I'm trying my best here.
Yeah. I don't know how to be a dad. I don't know how to be a dad to someone with like fucking superpowers.
I'm trying to figure this out. He's trying his best. The biggest thing, like we've said a million times, is that like what makes Jonathan Kent dying is heartbreaking because it's a heart attack that Superman can't save with all of his powers. You can grab his dad from a tornado. You know what I mean?
At that speed.
At that speed. You could have got the dog and no one would have questioned it, But the funny thing is, in the theater when it happened, when he puts his hand up, I was like, oh shit, I got like all teary-eyed. And then I found out later and I was like, wait. Anyway, so as the movie goes on, as I have during certain movies, like this fucking drudgery feeling of like, this sucks. The second time I saw it, I loved it. Like that's the highest I'll ever love Man of Steel. The second time I saw it,
recalibrated your
I'd recalibrated. I knew that I knew where all like the pacing was, because the third act, there's a long ass fight, man. Between Smallville and Metropolis, round 1 and 2.
It's kind of like it's action fatigue, like the Transformers movies.
It really is. But yeah, I've probably said this a million times, but the little kid that like says Superman was like the coolest thing in the world. Like that brought me back to like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's Superman on the big screen. That's awesome.
Can you think of any trailers that got you jazzed for a movie but let you down as hard as Jake did with Man of Steel, Chris?
Nothing's coming right to my mind. Like, luckily, I've been pretty fortunate in the last couple years of being able to like kind of spot my personal preferences, at least when it comes to movie trailers, and being like, that I'm not too jazzed about that. That being said, it might possibly Avengers 2. Because like, but even then, like I hesitate to say it, because even then, like I was like, this looks like it's gonna be, like it was worse than I was expecting. But like I was already kind of on my downslope of superhero movies. Like I don't need 10 super movies for the next 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, I'll watch them, but I think there is definitely kind of like I'm not as like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it was more fun when there were none, and then like we got Iron Man and Iron Man 2.
Now we get 2 to 3 a year.
Here's an interesting thing, and I was thinking about this, and this fits into that. Have we hit that point, like Sam was kind of saying, where like new characters are popping up? For example, Hawkman and Hawkgirl, which is awesome, popped up on Flash and Arrow. They have the crossover. Are we getting to that point now when like it's not as like it's a cool big deal seeing superheroes pop up, supervillains, but having that phrase where I can't believe we live in a world where X, Y, and Z is happening in a superhero movie, where it's like, we're like 10 years into this.
Yeah.
Like, is that like a weird, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I'm at a point where I don't know if it's because
like a bit of a fatigue for it.
There's a bit of a fatigue, but like Chris was kind of alluding to, Age of Ultron was definitely kind of, it wasn't so much like it didn't meet expectation, but it wasn't so much that I was tired of superhero movies as it just wasn't as good.
Yeah.
I think if you give me like something like the interesting thing about Winter Soldier, I walked out of Winter Soldier and was like, that movie was really good. Never saw it again until I got it on home video.
Yeah.
I feel like I've only seen it in theater and then when we watched it.
Yeah, for our commentaries available now. But the
I think Age of Ultron, like
and yet that was like the best, one of the best ones that they've made.
Yeah. Would you say? I mean, I think you say as much during the commentaries. It's still your favorite of the Marvel.
It's a fight between that and Guardians.
Right. I think people.
I think Guardians wins out. Like I've seen Guardians personally more times.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the way I'm leaning.
I think I'm tired of the formula.
Yeah.
But if there's like a really good movie, like I'm jazzed for Guardians 2.
Yeah. No, I mean the movies can still definitely be good, but I feel like Avengers 2 or just Age of Ultron, like it kind of took the brunt and kind of led the charge where it started to be like, step back for a second. And I feel like Ant-Man, which I just watched again recently, was a great, perfect Marvel movie or just superhero movie in general to fall out of Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Because it is not to be like pun intended to be funny, but it is a small scope movie. Like it's just focusing on a town. You know what I mean? And a heist.
It's its own little thing.
Yeah.
And it throws in Falcon so that you can still have.
But it doesn't beat you over the head with it.
Yeah. It still is like, oh hey look, superheroes from the rest of the universe, but it's like a dude that we just introduced that's not even really in Avengers 2 for no good reason at all.
And I forgot.
That was another problem that I had with Avengers 2.
I forgot that
Falcon would have been great.
I forgot that there was a scene leading into Civil War because I just remember watching it as just an Ant-Man, and we saw it in theaters and enjoyed it. But watching it a second time, like it elevated even higher. Like I fucking loved it because again, I knew a little bit more of it. Like I think it's the most humorous and creative of the Marvel movies. Like it helps.
And Michael Pena.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it helps that he shrinks down and has like. But it's just it's that's a great follow up.
I think it's kind of like how Pixar movies were post Toy Story 3. I was kind of tired of the formula, and there was definitely kind of like the magic wasn't quite as there. And I think this was a year minus Ant-Man where the magic wasn't quite as there. But when my first reaction to a Spider-Man movie being announced for 2017 is almost more of a groan than a, oh, fuck yeah, a new Spider-Man, which is kind of how it went. That's
exactly how it went for me.
Yeah, it's like...
I don't need another Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. And
I don't even care that he's in Civil War.
Yeah, and God help me if, there's a fucking like origin story in Spider-Man 2017, because then I'm just going to be like, well...
I mean, they have... I mean, again, who knows? But they've said, it's not going to be.
And, I'm ready. I'm fingers crossed that Civil War restores my faith in the genre. Not that again, I'm watching these movies, opening night.
Yeah, we are going to be those fucking nerds who will be there opening night for every single.
If there's anything
movie.
We've established, fucking nerds.
Yeah,
but
nerds like to get introspective with these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we're talking about them. So therefore, we feel the need to actually educate ourselves on the real thing, because why talk about them if it's just going to be, hypothetical?
Yeah.
Like, get the facts.
Yeah, you're now about to witness the power of street knowledge.
Yeah, what?
Straight
out of Compton.
Yeah. Crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. It's kind of like the same thing with, for some reason... Maybe it was because there hasn't been any Star Wars movies since the Clone Wars. God help us. But I'm for some reason I'm completely bought back in on Star Wars.
I am so jazzed.
Yeah.
Like the fucking Josh is turning in his grave.
Yeah.
Alive.
Yeah, we never said he was dead.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Because I am like rock hard for Star Wars at this point.
Now,
like I remember like this time last year I was like, don't get too excited. Don't get too excited.
There is a level of trepidation, I will say. And it isn't about Episode 7 itself, but more so about the fact that for every year now, we're going to get a live-action Star Wars movie.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting point, too, because this is the introspective episode. Is that going to be
Do you
weird?
Want me to title it that?
Yeah, but the weird thing is, or Jake fucking slobs over Superman's knob for the millionth time.
Wait, what? Jake likes Superman?
Delicious.
But...
Kryptonian.
Yeah, $5.
I was gonna do that.
$5 foot long.
But I was going
I think
to.
Superman's penis is only worth $5. It's charged by the sun.
But there's the good possibility, because this is Episode 7, obviously the first Star Wars thing in a long time. Is there going to be that like every year Star Wars thing where it's like, all right, well, get ready for the new Star Wars movie?
I think it's every numbered entry, like every episode.
But I mean, like there will be like a expanded universe.
Yeah, because we got Rogue One next year. And like nice thing about like the like we're getting something every year is that like it's not like what Marvel's doing where it's just like, Cap, Thor, this, and it's like all linked into the continuous storyline. We're jumping back and like filling in gaps and stuff like that, which that like I understand the trepidation, but like it's not like, oh fuck, Disney's just franchising the fuck out of this.
No. Yeah. I will say, like, when they announced that there was no plans for an Iron Man 4 in Phase 3, I was like, okay.
Good.
Well, yeah, I mean,
good. Yeah, fine.
There doesn't need to be a solo Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
Let's rule of threes, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does there need, I mean, outside of the established Avengers, outside of like their trilogies, does there ever need to be solo films for those characters again?
I don't think there does.
I don't think there does either.
Yeah. I mean,
I think I'm fine with like Cap getting Civil War, which is not really a solo film, and then Ragnarok.
Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, and then Ragnarok, which I guess is going to be a Thor solo film.
Probably closes out his universe.
Yeah. And and I'm fine with that. Like I feel like 3 is a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can bring in like the solo guys of new characters later on or the TV series, but then you bring them together for these big movies.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a big problem is like because thinking back, I did go into Age of Ultron pretty jazzed.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah."
All day at work I was like pushing every day and every night.
Pushing, don't give up the fight.
I was psyched, man. I remember we were at the theater and like the guys who work at one of the local Domino's, they were there. Like everyone was just so fucking excited for it.
It was an event.
Yeah.
And then it ended. And then I really do think that it was Age of Ultron not being that great and Batman v Superman not jazzing us up, or we're just kind of like superhero movies.
Yeah. I mean, I still get a twinkle in my eye every time I watch the Batman v Superman trailer, and I've watched it a sick amount of times. But like, there's enough there where it's like, it's cool, man. It's the Dark Knight Returns armor. It's fucking Batman. It's Superman punching each other. It's Wonder Woman showing up. Parademons. There's that rumor that when they're showing the Superman statue at the base of the Metropolis Ground Zero area, that the guy in the wheelchair is Jimmy Olsen. And so
James.
James Olsen's James.
Yeah.
It was me, James Olsen.
Yeah.
James Olsen. It's been a long time. What took you so long?
Lex Luthor takes off his fucking wig and his mask,
Goodbye,
and it's Christoph
James
Waltz.
Olsen.
Goodbye, Bruce Wayne.
I am so stoked to get Spectre on DVD and Blu-ray.
Oh, to watch that scene? Fuck yeah.
That and to see like the behind the scenes of like the Day of the Dead. And I think like Chris had texted me because Patton Oswalt sometimes frequents the theater where he works, and he was talking to Patton after seeing Spectre, and like.
Yeah, so Patton came in, and it was cool. I was like, "Hey, what's going on, Mr. Oswald?" He went to go see Spectre, and like as he was going, like under my breath, I was like, "Oof, I can't wait to hear what he says." After hearing like both you guys talk about it, and like everyone who's been talking about it at the theater, an overall underwhelming movie. He comes out, and I'm like, "Oh, so what'd you think?" And he was like, and like that was literally all he said about the movie. I was like, glad I still haven't seen it.
So, and when Chris texted me like about like talking to Patton about that, I was just like, "There's the opening." I mean, I know that's all I have.
Yeah.
There's some cool parts past the opening, but for me, that's like Day of the Dead. Yeah, Day of the Dead. And I kind of wanted that scene never to end. If the entire movie took place during Day of the Dead, that would be fucking awesome.
Let's just go next year.
Yeah, I kind of Yeah,
I wouldn't mind going to that. I've been wanting to go to that.
Yeah.
And now, what a better reason to go and get overpriced travel arrangements.
Yeah, though traveling to Mexico is never one. It's you gotta both eyes open, but two.
Getting there is not the hard part.
Yeah. Yeah, escape from Mexico
Drinking
City.
The water is the
yeah, or you don't use it to brush your teeth either. Montezuma's Revenge, man.
Mm.
But yeah, anything to close out? Or do we want to leave it on Montezuma's Revenge?
I like it.
That's good.
Cool. Montezuma's Revenge it is. This has been another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Eric Bana.
Damn, that beat was dope.